So today I want to speak about twin flames, but this time delve a bit more deeper and how you can really identify who they really are. I'll see you shortly. So welcome back. My name's Sage. I'm from Karnak Holistics, where we learn together and we grow together in the sight of God. So today I'm going to speak about twin flames, but first of all, I just want to do some housekeeping. If you can like, share and subscribe to the channel, I'll be more than grateful. And also if you can press that golden bell so you can pick up on any videos that I do that are coming up shortly. So today, as I mentioned, I want to speak about the twin flames, but I want to speak slightly about also the soulmate and just have the difference between the two, because they can be quite polarized apart. So I've got 7 points I would like to speak about the twin flame, because my last video I spoke about, I think I had about 15 points, but I wanted to be a bit more in depth in this one. So let's just identify what's the difference between the twin flame and a soulmate. Let me start with a soulmate first. Now, the soulmate could be pretty much anybody, and you could be your best friend down the road. It could be your teacher. It could be your cat, your dog. It could be your mate, your brother, your sister. Used to identify with each other on that level, on a spiritual level. But listen to the word soulmate, twin flame. And I'll explain about the flame in a minute. So the soul's mate, it's not necessarily someone you will settle down with or have a relationship with. Though despite I know many people who have come to me and had long relationships with their soulmates. Pardon me, that's fine. It's not a judgmental thing. It's just when we cut looking for our twin flame, that's what we identify in looking for. And there is confusion between the soulmate and a twin flame. So the twin flame is the word mentioned about the soulmate, the twin flame. The meanings in the word, so the flame is our spirit, and our spirit is, we get separated at the point of creation of the spirit, and we're sent out into the universe, i.e. down to the planet, and it's down to us to try and find each other and marry up. And that is our journey in a sense. And when you meet somebody, as these points I'll be making references back to the flame, because all these points make reference to that, and why you just keep your mindset on the flame and the point of creation, not about relationship. Think about, when I'm talking, keep your mindset on how these people make you feel and what's going on for you, about you feeling completed, not because they have to complete you. Yeah, there's a difference. When you hear that terminology, she or he completes me, it shouldn't be that you're incomplete, so therefore they come to complete you. You should be complete already, and they come to kind of like reassure you that you are complete, and you're there to reassure them that they're complete. And I will explain about these points moving forward, but I want you to just make that quite clear as you're going on, why I'm making reference to being completed, and that you don't rely on your twin flame to be completed, or you won't be completed until you meet your twin flame. So the first point I want to pull up is you feel completed. I want to speak a bit more in depth about that, really. There's two energies to this. You've got the male and the masculine, and you've got the feminine, and sometimes we are both. For example, you're male and you're female. So, for example, say if you're feeling, let's just use a common knowledge what everyone knows about the masculine would be very protective, very macho, very in a way controlling, very focused upon getting it done and organized and quite physical and want to get it physically done, and be the strength. Where you got the feminine, which is a different approach. The feminine is more of looking at the holistic way of looking at it, being a bit more gentle, giving things time to achieve their goals, and opposed to rushing in to get it done like the male energy does do, very boisterous and kind of like a Taurus. You with the feminine energy, they're very much like water, flow like water, and as they go on, they transcend into that that energy or that point they want to reach. The other point as well is like when you are getting, as I mentioned about being completed, it's your journey to look within to be completed. As you're working with yourself to find your true you, as you're going on, you will come to that point is where you, for example, as I talk about the hero's journey, when you've gone through your journey and then you found who the true you are and what you're about, and that you're feeling very sure of who and what you're about. I don't believe we're totally complete, because we always learning, but I feel we know ourselves enough to say, okay, this is what I want to do with my life. So we're feeling more completed in order to go, okay, I'm going to move on. And with that, you then start attracting stuff. So let's look at dating, for example. Like myself and so many people I've worked with, they've been going online looking for the perfect person, and they want to find Mr. or Mrs. Right and blah blah blah. But some of their profiles I've seen, for example, is about what they want than opposed to what they are about. Yeah, so I should have written two examples, but let's just say, for example, look for somebody who is strong, caring, compassionate, focused, idealistic, working, I don't know, whatever, stuff like that. Yeah. Then putting it like, and this isn't you being big-headed, just saying, I've achieved who I am, so I'm strong within myself, I'm strong-willed, I'm caring and compassionate, I have understanding of myself and people around me. I know what makes me happy, what makes me sad. You see the difference. Yeah, I'm just gonna sound really. I think I'm gonna offend some people in a minute. The first one, we are saying what you're looking for. I get why people do that, but it's almost like you're desperate. It's like, I don't mean to, because when I was single, I did the same thing. And I changed my profile to talk about who and what I am. And I spoke about what I found out about myself. And then I almost kind of then started keeping in my mind's eye and in my heart that I'm going to start befriending people when I start going on dates or whatever. So I did, and I met my fiance, and we were friends at first, but we just clicked. And there is that saying about the twin flame that you just click, and that's just clicked. And she at that point happened to be going through or just completed her journey in to know who she is and made some massive changes in her life. And we arrived on the same page at the same time. And it's not coincidence. I don't believe in coincidence. I believe it was intended to be. The other point I just want to make a point on that while I'm there, in regards to, no, I'll make it later on because it makes sense later than starting now. Point 2 is maintaining your values. So when you've got your values, so remember I told you about your date line and what you're looking for, and you speak about what your values are. I like trees, I like to long walks, I like to go into the forest, I like to go by the sea, I like to sit by the sea, I like to meditate, I like to do yoga. You notice the difference. You're talking about me, you, as opposed to you're looking for someone to do this with, so therefore you've not done it yet. When you meet somebody, they would already be at that point to go, okay, because you're doing it, they will be doing the same, and they will be kind of like mirroring you. So what you're doing, they will want to do the same. And if you say, well, I want to go for a long drive, I want to go to another city to go shopping or whatever, or go by the beach and just meditate, go to the forest, they'll go, okay, I get it, because I'm going to do it because you want to do it. There's a difference than doing it because they want to do it. There's a difference because you automatically know that they are shifting for some reason because you've had that conversation. And there'll be, and the other thing as well, as it's kind of down the same line, so knowing your values is that you won't be afraid to speak your mind. So if they annoy you, you tell them they annoy you, you know, not really, obviously, but you be quite open to discuss your situations and what's going on with you. Where I know so many partners I speak to, and they come to me for coaching, I said, why don't you just tell them? And they're like, oh, no. So how are you meant to get it sorted? You know, well, that's what I thought. You can help me with that. I go, well, what do you mean? No matter which way you're going to have this conversation, the conversation's still going to be the same result. Whether you turn around and say, if you say to someone, look, you've been a right arse and you get on my nerves, you don't listen to me, then you saying, look, I've been feeling like this, but I would really like someone to talk to you. Would you listen to me? There's ways of approaching it, but equally, if you're not feeling needed or loved, then that conversation needs to be had. And that's what, with Twin Flames, they don't mind hearing that you're in a vulnerable state. That's another important part. Thank you very much, Collective, for pointing that out. Is for the fact is that there's no fear about you being vulnerable, either one of you. And when I say vulnerable, is that you don't mind being not the victim, being vulnerable, being open to change and being open to questioning, to understanding, to developing. That's you being vulnerable. But when you're playing the victim, or you don't do this, you don't do that, it's that kind of approach it needs to be, that you should feel that you can be vulnerable with them. The other point 3 is you feel happy no matter what is happening. So you're having a bad day at work, or you're having a bad day, you're going to see your parents or you're going to your friends, and it's gone pear-shaped and you're not happy, but you can just go, you know what, I can phone, boom, this person, your partner, and you know that they will listen to you no matter what, and they will be able to sympathize and have empathy in order to hear what you have to say, than opposed to being judgmental. And I feel a lot of people that I hear, sometimes with myself, you don't talk to people because there's a fear of being judged. To be fair, people judge people anyway, so no matter what you do, you're going to be judged. So don't be afraid to talk to your partner. This is what the Twin Flame is about. They are there to help you when you're feeling low or lost. Not for you to go and dump your crap on. That's not what it is. They're not your counsellor. They're there to recognise when you're in a good mood. They'll be if you're in a good mood, they may be in a bad mood, so you can help them, and vice versa. If you're both in a bad mood, you recognise it, and then you will both come out of it and be in a better mood. You know, you may just want to be in that dark night of the soul situation and work through it. And so many times, me and my fiance have been together, and we've both been in not a good place, work or whatever, and then we've come together, and it's just been, you know what, we just need to be apart to be together. So we could be in different rooms, but just thinking about stuff, and then it slowly, the conversation just happens because something happens. It just manifests. So it comes in different ways. It's okay to be with each other, but not with each other. Not break up, but be in the same building, but in different rooms to get your space. Or you may have a conversation. I'm going through this, I just need some time out, or this is going on for me, you know, let's talk about it. The other point is that you feel your twin flame is loving. You feel safe with this person. You feel pardon me, so balanced, and that you feel that you can just relax. And I love the line is where I think I heard it somewhere, where I feel like I can just come sit down on my own chair in my pants with my partner. And that's the kind of thing with, you don't feel no way about who you are. You can say, you know what, I'm putting on weight, or you can say that, like, I'm losing too much weight, and they won't judge you for that. So that's where they will be loving. The next point I want to talk about is life begins to fall apart. When your life is going tits up, pear-shaped, and you're not sure what to do, where to go, they will be there to pick you up, dust you off, tell you, back you up, even though you're wrong, and then kind of give you a grilling in a way to say, why did you do this, and so on and so forth. That's what they're there to do, and it'd be a natural thing for them, for both in a relationship, for both of the twin flames. That's how it is. The way I'm talking is more of about, like, you've met this person, or you think this is a person, so you're discussing these points in yourself, yeah? So you're thinking, okay, well, I met this person. Is it like this? Is it like that? It could be from the first 6 months, whatever, but you would know. You'd have had that feeling at day dot. And then all these things, you begin, oh yeah, that's right, that's me. Not all of them are all the same points will make relevance to you, because you may not have gone through it yet. But with my other video is more like, look for these signs, and these are kind of like indicators or directions to kind of see what this person is about. My next point is you support each other through the dark night of the soul. So let me explain what the dark night of the soul is. The dark night of the soul is a spiritual depression, and it's not like a chemical depression like what depression is. The spiritual depression is where everything, it doesn't seem to be right. So you may, for example, be alone in a crowd, and you have everything. Yeah, so you may have a nice car, nice good job, and so on and so forth, but you just feel like your soul is not going anywhere. That's your dark night of the soul. And obviously with depression, obviously there's another kick to that, another facet to dark night of the soul, which is depression. Very similar, but dark night of the soul is more like you are more enclosed in, and you feel like you can't get out, and then you can't see the wood through the trees, you can't see that light at the end of the tunnel, but you know that you're okay. But with depression, is more like you can't get up and go out because you can't be asked, basically. Not in that, it's not in a bad way. It's for the fact is that you just don't have the gap and go for it. Dark night of the soul is that you have the gap and go, but you just feeling really low about yourself. The other point is you won't play the victim. So when you play the victim, so many people play this, and they say to me, "Oh, they can't be my twin flame because I'm in this state and they're not supporting me." And I would say something like, "Look, you clearly are going being quite negative about stuff, and that it's all about you. And have you thought about your situation on this whole from different aspects than opposed to just your narrow view of life?" And because as you look from different views, you see it differently. When they will, and your twin flame will recognize that you being the victim, and they would say you're being the victim, and that's where the openness comes. But it's not only openness where they take digs at you. They will know how to approach you because you are a mirror image. They would know what would offend them, so they won't approach you the way that they will get offended. if that makes sense. So if I know that I'm sitting at a table and to get my attention, you come and take stuff off my table, and that offends me, that my twin flame knows not to do that. They will come put stuff on the table or go, would you like a drink? Or they will give an offering to you. So in that type of thing, they would just know how it's different than how normally it would be than us just going out there and just going, oh, well, you're just being like this and like that, and they'll be able to approach you in a more constructive way than opposed to a really dark and destructive way. So I hope that made sense. It is an important subject, I feel, now that we're getting into 2021, and it's everyone's going to be either alone or in relationships because of the strain of what's going on. But I thought it'd just be kind of important that you may have a friend with you that you feel drawn to, and you've always felt drawn to them, but you ain't done nothing about it. I've seen that as well, and I can see that they are twin flames, and it's just time, you know. Oh, one more point. The other important point is that even though you meet the person and you click, they may not be ready for you. Yeah, I know this sounds like a cliche. So they may either be in a relationship, they may be not ready to settle down, they may be living somewhere else. There's all these different facets. It may not be the right time in this life, but it may be the next. But I know this sounds really depressing after what I just said, but it's like sometimes you have to meet them to prepare you for the next life. And the next life could be in this life, but the next life could be in a new life. But if that's the case and they ain't not ready, that's not your fault. That if you're out there and you recognize this person, say you're female and you got John and Andy, and John's your twin flame and Andy is your soulmate, but you recognize John as your twin flame and John is not ready because he wants to go and play the field, he wants to go traveling, he wants to just have some party, have all these girls and so on, but you feel no, you don't want that, and he knows that he likes you and you recognize each other, so he's off, and you got Andy who is going to be your soulmate, who is ready. There's nothing wrong with that, because it's about your need. Remember, it's about your need, and it doesn't mean that you failed as a human being to find your twin flame. It's just that it's their fault. It's down to them because they can go on and they can still stay there. The other thing is that you can say, well, why did God bring them to me then if they're not ready? It may be just an introduction, you know. An introduction is just to have a spark. You may trigger things in their life to have a knock-on effect through their life. And when they come to the next life and you meet in the next life, that's what happens. It's so complicated, but it's just, you know, don't worry about the mechanical side of it. Just focus upon you and falling in love. Importantly, it's such a feeling. It's such a beautiful feeling. And it's like, just love it. Just enjoy it, and enjoy the journey. So that's me for now. And I'll see you on the next video. You know, you stay safe, stay blessed, and I'll see you in the next video. Namaste.